Hi guys, Suzie Yule Diadem, living positive regardless.
This was a man who was abused and succumbed to the abuse. Why are you not talking about it? Because that's a case to be discussed. So we cannot try and say we are a society that is trying to fight for gender equality. I think gender equality is a scam.
Wow.
For me, it is a scam because what we enjoy now is gender equity. Equity is the provision of opportunities, resources according to your needs. Because I don't think if we were to do equality that right now, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if women would survive. Even the creation of the women rep seats, that is equity. Because we are trying to elevate women, giving them space equal. Because if we are to leave the field open, they might not be able to get these posts. Sure. You understand? Because even if so, when we go equal on the ground, how many women governors do we have? For this time, it was supposed to be 7. If the one for Meru is still in the seat, there were only 7 out of 47 counties. That means 40, right? So it still shows there's unbalanced power, right? So we are creating this post to elevate women, because if we are to say let's be equal, we would all know that it would not work. That's why we have the third gender rule, the third gender rule, to ensure that at least we have women in power. Because equality, as we want to say it is, it's not working. And we know it is not working. That's why what is working in this country, all these things you see, all these are equity. Okay. Not equality. Okay. And equality means it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. We are both applying for a job. Let your credentials sell you. If you do not have them, we do not care. So even if all men have the credentials, they're all going to get employed. But then right now, because of the third gender rule, the fact that there has to be a percentage of women in your company, that is equity, you know. That's why we have those posts.
Okay. Do you think the society has, because I think especially when you use the post in the political, there's a discussion that was going on that these seats were created and really it seems like they have no real role in the society, but they were just meant to accommodate. Now the fact that those posts are open even for women and still we don't have even a quarter of it, do you think it's because the society still have not embraced the power of a woman? Because what I'm hearing you say is that it's not wrong to empower a woman, but then we don't want to empower them at the expense of the boy child. And I even wonder, whose mistake is it that the boy child, maybe first of all you should let us know, whose mistake that the boy child is left behind? Is it that we have embraced the woman too much and we have forgotten the boy child? Or is it that the boy child is also failing us, that he's not able also to, because I think it's an equal opportunity we should all compete for. Is it that the boy child is also failing us, he's not competing enough? Because I believe it should be an opportunity for everybody to
So let me tell you, with all these advocates that you've seen, tell me, anytime have you heard anywhere somebody saying let's empower the boy child? No. Initially, the world was designed to be a man's world. Before feminism came, it worked well for men because it was an environment that made men thrive. And women, we were feeling we were oppressed for a while. We didn't have much that we enjoy right now.
Yes.
There's been a great milestone that has been achieved over the years, and we thank feminism movements for those. I am able to talk here, you're able to sit here today and have this platform because of those type of movements.
True.
If they were not there, then probably you and I today would never probably have met.
In the house.
We would be alive somewhere. Right now we have 6 kids, running. And we appreciate that. But you see, when you advocate, even right now when you have 2 kids, and you're always giving one, you're giving one, you're giving one, and you're leaving the other, will you want to blame this other one for not getting to the level of that? Because this person is being given resources, they're getting support. Right now, if right now I was with a man in this room and I just made noise out and I said he tried to rape me, would you want to know his side of the story? It doesn't matter. And I feel like because men are feeling helpless, because right now there's no law that is supporting that boy child. There is no place they can turn to when they have issues to anyone. Right now, if I had an issue, I have we have so many women centers that I can actually go to get help. You know, when you talk about type of feminism, we have different types of feminists. We have the liberal feminists, we have the radical feminists, we have the cultural feminists. And the cultural feminism, I think, is what's working right now. The cultural feminism wanted to create an environment where women thrive. And that's what we have. Like, we have the rape centers. We have centers for women who've been abused. We have centers for kids who've given birth way early, maybe because out of, you know, issues at home, a relative raping them or having an affair, you know, those kind of things we have. And women can thrive best because there's a lot of support that is given to them. The boy child is lagging behind, first of all, because we do not feel like they have issues that need to be addressed. That's one. We think like men are okay, and I feel like the day we will recognize that men are human beings with the same challenges, just in different angles, like us, then probably we'll solve a lot. Even issues in the society are being solved from one point, that is the women's perspective. We assume that the men do not need to be part of this discussion, and even when we are bringing in the men, it's a very small percentage that is being brought on board to give their own personal views, like things like sexual reproductive health. This should be things that are actually being advocated for both men and women, because for sex to occur there has to be two people, that is both a man and a woman, right? Okay, right now we are diverse, but I'm saying in the typical history of how sex should
and
be,
in the reality, because the rest is just distorted information clearly.
Yes. So if that's supposed to happen, even when women are getting pregnant, there has to be a man that actually got this woman pregnant. But you cannot go giving talks to only girls and neglecting this other gender that is actually making this girl pregnant. This one atampatia mimba muache. There will be another one who's being lied to, right? And then this person will continue going on spreading his seeds to every girl that he meets. What if, I advocate, what if we, for once as a society, looked at things and started addressing things from men's point of view? Okay. Because I feel every issue that feminism is trying to address is actually sprouting from the men's side. Gender-based violence, who are the perpetrators? According to the information we have, that men are more the perpetrators of GBV because of their physical strength as compared to women, which I think is also a lie. Okay. I kind of, for my undergraduate, I did a research on men's GBV, the institutionalization of GBV for men. And trust me, men, we feel like men are not abused because they do not talk about it. But if you asked me, men are more abused. Maybe not the physical abuse, but psychological. You know, you have psychological, right? Yes. Women, let's talk about the verbal one. Women are more talkative as compared to men. How many women abuse men? How many times have you had women out here tell men, even your sex game is not good, right? And we throw that out there in public for people to hear. And you know what that does to a man's ego? Because a man is his ego. Once you bruise that ego, you've killed that man, right? So how many times have you even had women tell them that he doesn't, even his penis is not the right size? We say these things in public, not in private. But if a man says that he feels like a woman has an overstretched vagina, what we call mtaro, and women are out here saying they are becoming defensive, right? But then they feel like it is okay for us to say these things about men, and nobody should complain. You understand? And because men feel like there's no one supporting them, I think they kind of took a back seat and let things run as they run. Because even a man would be like, me, I can't touch you, because if I touch you, kesho ukisema hivi, I have no say. And how many, you even saw the case of that man whose daughter accused him of raping her, only to realize after 10 years of spending time in jail that the mom had orchestrated the whole thing. What does that tell you? That men do not have power. The society right now is not designed to favor and listen to a boy child. It is designed to favor and listen to a woman. Right now, it does not matter if whatever I'm saying it is the truth. That's why right now, if I'm accusing a man, he's guilty until proven innocent. And how many women organization or feminism organization that are willing to come in and help me prove my case, only for us to discover later. Look at even the history of late. The strongest men that we've had in society have been falling because of a woman's accusation. They just have to accuse, and everything that you had worked so hard for is going down the drain. If you had a company, the investors, donors are all coming out and saying they don't want to be associated with you. If you know, and women are having the victim mentality. That's what the society needs to stop. Women are not a victim all the time. We are not victims all the time. Men are actually also victims. And women are the perpetrators.
Wow.
And we've seen, I don't know, I feel like sometimes we need to take time to document for people to know that actually women are not are not victims as we want to make them appear. We were victims for a long time, probably in the traditional setup. I tend to think there's been much that has been done to try and atone for those sins of our grandparents and great-grandparents. There's still much that is still being done. But I think right now it is also time for us to take a seat and reflect what are the consequences of this action. What has that done to the society? Right now we have educated women. Are they getting married? We have a society that we dreamt of. How many right now? Kenya, I think, is number 4 leading in single-headed households where we have single mothers. How many parents are being raised by one parent? What's the effect of that? People do not understand. A man, whether he's a drunkard or not, he has a role that he plays. You do not I know people will not believe and say that he's deadbeat, he doesn't provide. But having a man in your house, there's a shield that a man provides. That whether he's there, that a person, if he was not there, there are things that you will not be shielded from. Just by the mere fact that this man is present here. You understand? And because the society has trained us to know that a man's value is tied to his ability to provide for his family. But women, now the modern woman, feels offended when a man tells him that he also needs a wife who can cook, clean, and take care of the house. Then we are judging men by the same traditional roles. But we want to forgo our roles. And now my question is, are men also allowed to forgo their roles? Because if I'm a traditional man, the one who's been told, they're calm. Traditional men were quiet. They used to observe. They're more of action doers than just naysayers, And they provided for their family, ensure that things were running. No matter what, we never used to care how you're doing it. Just do it, right? And that's what even the modern woman is still asking for. A man who can provide. If you look at all loyal teachers, actually I was watching loyal teachers because I was trying to do a survey. 90% of women who've cheated on their men is because of the man's lack of ability to provide for her. I even heard women were saying that 500 is small money to manage per day. So I'm wondering, how much do women want to be given a day? And if you cannot afford to do it yourself, why do you think it's another person's responsibility to provide for you? Right? Are you cooking for this man? Because only a traditional woman who is able to cook good food that can actually be consumed and somebody feels like nimekula. Because there are women who cook there are women who cook and you cannot eat that food. Chakula imeungua, sijui chumvi. It's just bad. If you're giving this, if you're making sure your man is well fed, that your man looks clean and very presentable when he walks out here, people can look at him and admire him, that your house is well kept. When this man is come to the house, there's peace of mind, the house is clean, he can sit down, reflect, and just think about his life and the ways he needs to bring more money for you. Then probably you have a right to demand for his money. But you are saying it's not your work to cook. No, that's the modern woman. It's not my work to cook. This is not my job. It's not my job to cook. It's not my job to clean. It's not my job to take care of you. You're an adult. You can take care of yourself. Why do you think it's your right to his money? What right do you have to demand for his money? If you're not doing this, this man also has all the right to deny you his money. And women should not feel entitled just because we want to play the victim mentality that right now we are this, we are that, women are always oppressed. That's not the truth. Women are actually destroying young men out here. They're actually good men. They're actually meeting women who do not know what they want in their lives. And they leave men who have actually been broken. And then that man will meet a good woman probably like you, and then this man is going to destroy you because somebody else destroyed him. You understand? Because they have not healed from it. So this society, if you're being honest, who raises kids? Women. 90% of caregivers in the world are women, right? True. Very few kids are raised by their fathers alone, right? Or the other side. So if we are raising kids who are abusive, we have men who are still propagating female FGM, we have men who still believe in those kind of things, right? We still have men who are abusing women, right? Who is failing? Who raised this child? When you have a man who's not emotionally, men with fragile egos are actually the ones who abuse women. Because fragile ego means they're not able to stand when a woman stands up for themselves, because they believe as a man, I'm the head of the house. When I say this, you should do. You know, and they believe the world should work in a particular setting, that if it's not presenting itself like that, then you're probably the problem. But my question I ask all the time, if we still have all these men, who are raising these men? Isn't it women? So who's failing who?
Okay.
Who's failing who? There are women who get pregnant and refuse deliberately to tell the man that they're actually pregnant. No woman has any right to deny your child the right for them to know their dad. Whatever happened between you and their father is not something that you bring in your kids, because at the end of the day, you are mad. When you are meeting, this child was not involved. True. Whatever happened between you guys, this child was not aware. So he might be a bad person to you, but he might be a great dad to the kid. True. So you have to give men the chance to know their children, unless you tell him and he says he does not want to be part of it. And you can confidently say, I gave you the opportunity to be this, and you refused. But we've seen women who, just because out of anger and how they felt about this man, they've denied their children the right to know their dad. Then what type of adults have we produced? The ones who are abusing women. Those are the type of women and men that are actually here destroying the society because of lack of morals. They didn't have proper setting. They do not know the importance of family because they did not see it in their homes. You know, what you did not see, you cannot practice what you do not know.
Sure.
So we have that happening. That's why we have women. Why do we have right now Kenya having single-headed families? You want to tell me there are no men to marry these women? And if there are men who are willing to have sex with you and give you a child, then what's not happening? Because we need to take control. By the time you're agreeing to be a single mom, you made a choice to have sex with this man. Okay. What was the discussion that you had with this man? Because single parenting is also a problem in Kenya that we are facing right now. True. And that's why you see young girls. Look at these young girls who have no mwelekeo. And I was telling you, daddy issues. You know, look at them. They're the ones who are out here sleeping with people's husbands. They're the ones who are out here who feel entitled to having a right to a mbaba, and they do not see anything wrong with it. I'm not saying it's wrong. Everybody has the liberty to do whatever you want. True. Of course. But then at the end of the day, those are things that we never used to hear of before. Right? Yeah. And right now we say, oh, it's our dress, our choice. And I tend to think before, people even used to dress indecently more than, like, because they were just skins covering. But then there was no rape. Because there was a structure and a way of doing things that made those people, the society worked, because there was a structure. There was no distorted information, like things are thrown here and there. There is no clear structure. Right now, do we have a structure how this world is operating? We do not. Everybody is just doing whatever they feel is right. And that's why it is failing, because there is no proper way or channel. You will raise your kid probably in the right way, but who are the friends? In the school that they are going to go to, who are the people they are going to interact with? This is a child probably come from a family where the mom is a single mom, changes men every single day. So you want to tell me, when this girl grows up, you want to tell her that it is good, that there is a price in being a woman who's tied to one man.
She have seen it growing up, so
there is no price for her. You understand? So whatever we teach our kids, and that last time I said parents do not understand that your language becomes your first. How you speak to your child becomes your child's first language. Your child adopts what they see you doing in the house as compared to what you tell them to do. Kids are visual. They observe, imitate. And then because their mind is so young, they comprehend it becomes a habit. You understand? Now, right now, parents, we buy kids phones. Right? Ukikuja nyumbani umechoka, unataka time ya kurelax, unampatia simu, anajisumbua uko nayo. Bora umekuja umeweza mfanyikazi alikula, alilala. Whether it is true or not, you do not care. Kesho asubuhi ameamka ameenda shule, umerudi probably umepata amelala. You don't even have time with your kids. And the reason I'm talking about that is that's why right now we have this generation, because this generation was raised with that setting. True. You understand? These are the kids now who are in campus, the generation Z. This is how we were raised, with parents who were not concerned because they're so busy looking for money so I can go to school. And there's just more. Parents feel like as long as you're giving the material, you are doing enough for the child, and that's where they fail. The material is a very small percentage, because your child is not the material things you provided. It is the character, the personality, and the personality is what your child observes, is the things that you make your child absorb. As a child, like, are they in an abusive environment, a chaotic environment? Because a chaotic environment breeds a chaotic human being. And when they become adults, these are the women you see very dramatic out here. You know, they don't have any shame, throwing tantrums. You know, they have no any sense of respect for anyone. Chaos, because they're used to chaos, that is normal to them, and you'll be looking at them and wondering, why would a person behave like this? There is no manner of way that a normal human being would be behaving like this, but for them that is normal. That was the environment.
That's the way of living.
Exactly. And as long as feminism is working, and we are still advocating for the gender representation of what we term as gender, basically is women, and understand why men think when we talk about gender, we talk about women. It's not supposed to be that, because gender and women are not synonymous, right? Because gender is supposed to be men
and
women, boys and girls. You understand? But how we frame it, how it has been presented, how occasionally and repetitively it has been presented to us is gender is woman.
I think also the men, it's the duty. I mean, if we all understood, because I think how it started deviating from the whole origin thing is because when it was presented, it will look like it's something for women. It's supposed to empower a woman to disarm the man, which was not the case. It was supposed to empower the woman at least to be at par with the man. But now, if a man is afraid of a woman being empowered, then I think it comes to a point where they're also failing themselves, because they ought to embrace the fact that we want to empower this woman, so that even as we sit on the same table, we are going to reason from one point. Now, let me ask you, when we have these modern...
Just let me say a point before you continue. Let me clarify. Men are not threatened by an empowered woman. Honestly, men do not care how much money you earn. They are not interested if you're a career woman or not. Very few of them, that does not matter. In fact, most men will tell you, I'll support you. What men do not like about empowered women is the fact that they do not know their roles now. They do not know when to be a woman and not when to bring this whole thing, oh, I'm a career woman, or I also earn more money like you. See, that lack of respect, because men want and demand respect from their women. That's the only thing you can give men. If you cannot respect your man, trust me, he's going to look for somebody. It doesn't matter if you're a 10 out of 10. He's going to look for probably a 5 out of 10 and will marry this one. Do you know why? Because of respect. And that's what women lose when they have that independence. And then if you're being honest, how many women, if today they earned more money than their men, would still treat their men the same way they are right now when the man is earning more? Very few. And the men know that. And that's why they kind of do not want to be in those situations, because now it means it will be a cause for war. You understand? And I even told you last time, I saw a man who was saying men are not opposed to supporting women's dreams. They actually love to support the women. A man who loves will want to see you thrive. The thing is, women do not have dreams that are worth supporting. You understand? So the thing is, society wants us to make us understand and believe that men are the problem, that we women are doing what is right, but these people are not cooperating. Because why would a man be offended by a woman who's learned? Because that's a good woman to have, because you can share your thoughts, you can have ideas, you can implement things, and you can grow together. Then that should be a good thing, right? But actually men are shying away from it because of the fact that when we have this, there's a particular entitlement that comes with it, that we now want to tell men, I do not need you. Whether you are here today or you are not, there's nothing in my life that will change. Men want to feel needed.
Let me ask you at that point, do you think an empowered woman is marriageable? Because I'm listening to you and I'm wondering if I'm this career woman, and the modern way is that I'm supposed to take care of my family, I'm supposed to make sure my husband has good food, as you say.
That's
good
tradition.
Food. Yes, the traditional woman. I'm supposed to be this traditional woman who takes care of the family. I'm supposed to know what the kids ate, at what time they slept, if I find them asleep. Yet, those traditional roles that I'm playing, I have other modern roles that I'm playing, because probably I've been in the office from morning till that hour that I'm getting to the house. And the same case with the man. Maybe he's in the office since morning till but now I still am expected to play now these roles that I'm supposed to ensure he has good food. Who ensured that I have good food when I work from 8 till late in the evening and I got to the house? do we mean that this traditional woman is the only one who can sustain a marriage, and this modern woman is probably misplaced if she gets into a marriage?
Who ensured that the man also ate when he's trying to provide for you? Let me tell you, this thing is two-way. Let's not women want to make this thing appear like, oh, men are not understanding, oh, men, we are trying to run away from that role. Are we giving men the leeway also to abscond from their roles? If today a man said, I also work, but I have things to do with my man that is not part of providing, would you understand? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. Because even when it comes to issues of personal, we tell women right now you have the right to your body, right? And we tell them, oh, if you don't want 3 kids, you have the right to tell your husband, I'm not going to get 3 kids, right? If your man said, I don't want kids, would it work for you? You understand? We are telling women it is okay for you to have everything you have, but the man does not. It's not okay for him. He has no right. If I am telling you I don't want 4 kids and he wants 4 kids, the thing is, this is my body. I'm the one carrying your kids for you. So I'm telling you I'm not getting 4 kids for you. It doesn't matter. The thing is, I've said no. Right? You're also saying right now, I'm not able to cook for you, my husband. I have to work, right? I have to go to the office.
Because I need to assist the man in providing.
I don't want him how to many women are doing? If you're assisting in provision, then that's a whole different scenario. But assisting in provision, si kununua tu shopping 3,000. You understand? Because you probably have 3 kids. These kids need school fees. Wako private school, right? Julieka bwana yako, your kids has to go to the best school. Now maybe all their school fees combined is probably 150,000, right, per semester. Now that is one. Rent, you want to live probably in the leafy suburbs or a place that is decent enough for you when your friends come and they're thinking you're living, because women, we do things because we want to be seen with other people, that we are the ones enjoying it. So probably it's way out of his pocket, but then you want to live there because you want your friends to remember maybe kwa nyumba 50,000, that's 200,000. Let's assume your man is earning 300k, right? So 150 ashalipa school fees, 50 ashalipa rent, shopping maybe unataka 20,000, na wapi unataka kuwa maintained, and you're working. You understand? It's impractical, because what happens to this man? This man is somebody's son. Probably has siblings who are still in school. Family yake may delegate. Probably is the only person who has money. Feeding the parents, taking care of the siblings, taking care of his family. You are working, but your money is your money, his money is our money. Women work. We are not refusing. The thing is, they're not contributing to household provision. You understand? And there's nothing wrong with you working. It's okay. The thing is, a man does not see the point of, if you're working and you're not helping me in providing, you're not cooking for me, you're not cleaning for me, umeandika mfanyikazi, right? Mfanyikazi bado mimi, the man, and the one still pay. Okay? You're not cooking, you're not cleaning. The only thing you're giving me by the is sex and the kids we have. So why do we feel entitled to this man's money? If this man decides not to spend his time on you and his money on you, you have no right to be mad. Because what are you contributing? What is your contribution? That's what I want women to understand. I'm not saying it is wrong for a woman to work. And men are not opposed to women working. That's a notion that we have been made to think. That they have no problem with us working. The thing is, with the working, there's no difference in the house. Because women do not spend... Women, or there was
you're even getting ugly.
There was a scenario where I saw this lady. There's this these dramas that you watch, but these things are happening. This lady owns the house, but the husband pays the rent to this house, but he's not aware that this house, the landlady is the wife, right? Those cases, that's not the only case. There are so many cases, right? That even your man is struggling, anaomba madeni, akona madeni left, right and center. You can support, but umenyamaza una pesa. They can even sleep hungry, but bora mwanamke sio pesa yake, because anaamini it's not my work to provide. Now that type of a woman has no right being anyone's wife. Because when you're getting into a marriage, I believe, not that I've been married, but if I were to be, I believe marriage is a partnership. You understand? We want to make men slaves. We believe they should provide for me. When even for me, as an individual, I am unable to provide for myself. So the question I asked last time, if you can miss to have, what makes you think this man cannot miss to have? This is also somebody else's son. The same way you're struggling, this person would also be struggling. So if you're going into a partnership and you're going with the mentality that, oh, it is you, and me, I'm just there to survive. There's a marriage mentality. You have to know that sometimes he might miss. You have to step in as a woman. If you're working and today your man lost his job, you cover his nakedness and you step up and provide. Because when he had, he was providing, right? Because even when there are women who earn more and the men still provide.
True.
Right? But if you are allowed to delegate your duties, is he also allowed to delegate his duties?
Wow. In the corporate world, do you think that we have created equality, or the boy child is also oppressed when it comes to the opportunities in the marketplace?
Right now, I think boy child are disadvantaged everywhere. I am not seeing anywhere they are advantaged. Because even right now, when you look at job applications, down there, they write women and people living with disability are encouraged to apply. What does that already tell you? That there's a highly chance that a lady has to be given a post. Of course. So if there's one position, it goes to a lady, right? Yeah. And men, you know why men defeat most women in job places? Because most men are very confident. Wanaume anajiaminianga. When they walk into a place, they walk into that place as if they know what they want. You know, women, you can leave the house very confident. One little thing along the way inaweza kukasirisha, iharibu the whole mood, and now you get into that room and everything, you're confused and you do a very bad job, not because you are not competent, but as much as women don't like to accept, but we women are emotional human beings. Like most of the times, our reaction are tied to our emotions, you know, before logic. We react first by how we feel, then logic comes later, you know. True. And men react by logic, then emotions later, and that's what makes us different. But we don't want to accept that also, because we are trying so hard to be like men, and men don't want masculine women. Somebody should tell women that. In fact, men prefer very feminine women. Like they want to see a different. Why would a man want to date another man? You understand? So the whole competition, women are making this thing look like we are competing against each other. We don't have to. We don't have to compete against each other, because it's not a competition between who's better or who's not. And I was telling somebody the other day, it's not this whole narrative here who's more important than the other. There is no human being who's more important than the other. Every person has their own role, and you have a reason why you're still here, because there's something you're still playing. And we're all unique in our own particular way, that there's something you can give that nobody else can give in the whole world. You understand? So this debate turned from us empowering to people, now it's a debate between men and women, who's more equal, who's more able, who's not more able, who's more likely to do this, who's not. And you see, that's why we are missing the point. That's why we are missing the point. We are not competing against each other like a man is this, a man should be that, a lady is more like, no. Those are characteristics that we were given. That's what I'm saying, we are complementary. So where a man is failing, he needs this other person to come in and fill. Now when you work together, what does that do? You balance each other out.
Wow.
You get. But now women, we also want to compete. A man can carry 20 liters of water. I can also carry 20 liters of water. At the end of the day, at what cost? For what reason? So now that you've carried 20 liters of water, what have you proven?
Wow, my viewers, it's getting hot in here. Because I'm really afraid, because all of us actually, including Kib, by the way, she's empowered, she went to school, and she's still trying to see how much more she can be empowered.
Exactly.
Yet the same scenario is a threat to boy child. I'm not sure now. Maybe I would want to hear from Kib. What are we going to do to this boy child, and how are we going to balance this? Because you truly agree, we need to get empowered. That's why you went to school. That's why you're trying to achieve so much in your career. So what is the balance now? What do you think should be done?
First of all, as a society, we need to have a structure. That's something that is missing. That's why everybody's doing just whatever is doing. You know, we're having issues here because there's no particular order. That other world that we do not like right now worked because there were clearly defined structures, roles. Everybody knew what they're supposed to do at what time. And that brings order. When there is order, things tend to flow. The world we live in right now, there is no order. We are all trying to accept what we should not. We are all trying to pretend we are not seeing a problem. We're all trying to accommodate things that we should not accommodate, It's chaotic. Right now, the world is chaotic. And even as a parent, you wonder what should you teach your child, because even you as an individual, there are still things that you're conflicting about as a person. You understand? And then now you have another person who's relying on you to show them the way. And we live in a world that things are changing every single day. So we first need a structure. As a society, we need a structure. And clearly, kila mtu ajue that as a woman, like giving birth, that's a role that we can never delegate. Whether we want or not. Even if I'm getting a surrogate, I still have to give it to another woman to be able to carry the child for me.
True.
The thing is, that role is destined and given to women. The same way with production of sperms and fertilizing an egg. I cannot delegate that duty to a man. Cannot delegate that duty to anyone else. He still has to be the person doing it. In fact, for him, it doesn't even have surrogacy. Of course, maybe sperm bank, but that role, if men were today to be extinct, would women survive? Because we want to pretend we do not need each other.
Yeah.
Right now we are saying I do not need a man, just because there's more to life than being financially independent. And I remember I was telling you the other time, what feminism failed to clearly put out is why they were advocating for women economic empowerment. Because we have women who are working, who have their own money. While it has reduced codependency on men, but what has it done in return? Brought women who feel like they do not need men. So how do they treat these men? These are the women who go, men value youthfulness in terms of marriage. And they value purity. All right now, almost all women in the world right now, I don't think we have a traditional woman, except the kids.
No, the kids, I think they are the ones who are more modernized.
At least
Unless
for them, they still have
our shows.
I think for them, they still have the purity. Maybe those ones who are still virgins. Right now, but I was seeing a debate yesterday that was saying, imagine by the time a man is meeting a lady who's 30 years old, who's unmarried, how many body counts do you think she has? Right? And there was that discussion where they were saying that by the time you're meeting that woman, it's not the same way you'd have if you married a girl at 20. And I said before, men would marry girls when they were still in their prime, young, developing, because for them they value that youthfulness of a woman and the purity, which right now we are not giving purity. Most women are not giving purity, because by the time you're meeting your husband or the man who wants to marry, you already have probably 10 guys before him and all those kind of things.
Do you have body counts for men?
So to do that, then I think, let me tell you, that's
because
another.
I'm wondering, why would a man want a pure lady? Where did she lose her virginity?
Would you want a man who's not experienced in bed? You see, that's also another thing. So men have to get the experience. Let me tell you, ask women right now. I am telling you the truth. These are facts.
Okay.
Most women would not agree to have sex with a man who has never had sex before, because women want a man who knows what he's doing, because literally a man explores a woman's body even before the woman does, because men understand our body more than women do. See, tunajua tu the body parts, but that's it. But which part, in fact, a man would explore that for you more. So imagine now you having a guy that you have to teach what you like. I don't think most women would actually take that. In fact, it's one reason why relationships are breaking up. The inability of a man to satisfy you as a woman. People are not willing to say it, but it is a fact that if men were virgins today, most women would not want it. So they have to get it experience anyway.
Then in that, I think then men should be okay having a woman who has, I don't know how many body counts, because I'm wondering
how many. The issue is not to get you at 0, but 25. What to 25? Hey, pia umeenda sana. You understand?
Okay. But you think the more for man, the more experience he'll bring in the house?
I guess so. We are hoping. But statistics have shown that skill and experience has nothing tied together. Because there are people who have the experience, but then they still don't have the skill. Some of these
they are doing it wrongly so many times to so many people.
And the irony is, most men do not know if they satisfy a woman or not. We women know if a man is satisfying my friend, because my friend will come and tell me. Because women discuss these things. We discuss. I think, is there anything that women do not really discuss? I think now imagine you've had 10 guys. This one is coming in and they're just.
That's why I'm thinking we should have men not having body counts. Same case with women. So that if I come to you, I'm pure. I don't know what you're offering, whether it is good or not. The same case now applies to you.
But that's what I'm saying right now. There is no traditional woman in that sense. in that sense of purity. Very few. If they now few ni wale wa kanisa. You understand? And even those ones, it's not like they've not engaged in any sexual encounter. It's not that they've not had penetrated sex. I clarify that. They've had the romance here, kissing there, touching here, there. They've just not...
watu wa kanisa hatufanyangi hiyo. We don't do those things.
It is true. But yeah, as I was saying, you know. So one way forward, as I said, we need a structure.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, I think maybe it's time now we change our tactics on how we are solving issues that are affecting women. I think it's time for us now to bring men on board. One thing that we can do to actually sort these issues out would be, one, I said we need to have a structure. And then two, I think we need to change our approach on how we are solving women's issues. Over the years, we've solved women issues from the women's perspective, but clearly it's not working because 50 years down the line, we are still talking about the same issues. So what if we probably adopted a culture where we are now trying to bring men on board, and just not bringing them on board so that we want them to support what is happening, but actually looking at them as human beings with also challenges that actually affect their lives. And then we see, like, from that perspective, from whatever they're going through in their personal life, how does that tie into the issues that actually affect women? Because a stressed man who does not know how to handle stress issues is most likely going to resort to war or violence with their women when that is happening. So what if there was a platform also, we create also a men's culture where we give men a healthy environment for them to thrive as well? Because I feel like we don't have that environment. Our young boys are suffering. We also, another thing is lack of father figures. Right now, I don't think men have proper father figures. And that's why you see shows like the Andrew Kibe show, the Americ's show is not really a show, but a trend on Twitter on Saturdays is really trending, because you see most men commenting and saying, thank you so much, nobody taught me this, I didn't know that, this is what I should be doing. And you see they're advising young men in their young age that work on yourself. As a man, work on yourself, then pursue other things. Like, how many men do they even like, how many men have father figures that can actually tell them, this as a man, this is what you should do, this is how you should structure your life, this is how you should go about it? Like, I feel like they're just guessing things along the way, and that's why we are having messed up society, because everyone is just trying to guess and find their way.